What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Educated Barfly. Today we're going to be making a cocktail from bartender Sam Ross called the Freight Train Swizzle. Mr. Ross created this cocktail in 2017 for his own bar, Attaboy. And if you do not know who Sam Ross is, although I would be very surprised if you've been watching this channel for a while, because we've done a lot of Mr. Ross's cocktails. He is a brilliant cocktail maker. But basically Sam Ross is a bartender that, I almost said Sam Ross is a cocktail. He's not a cocktail. He makes cocktails. Sam Ross is a bartender that came up in the bar Milk and Honey, which is kind of the bar that's largely credited with starting the sort of like cocktail renaissance. Although I kind of feel like that's unfair. They did a lot for the cocktail renaissance. I don't know if they started it, because there was a couple other bartenders that were operating in New York around the same time. It was just sort of like one of those things where, like, I don't know, maybe the ideas were in the air and a lot of people were sort of doing, like, kind of passing through those ideas and doing those things at the same time. But they were a very important bar program in New York in the early 2000s, created by Sasha Petraske. And what was great about Sasha Petraske, and things that I've said on this channel a bunch, is that he put a lot of his other bartenders, kind of the bartenders that showed a lot of promise into business in other places. And so they kind of created this family of bars. One of those bars in that family is called The Varnish, which is the back speakeasy to Cole's French Dip, which is the bar that I run in LA. They are located in the back of our restaurant. So yeah, you should check that out. We're actually shooting an episode with them at some point soon, and we'll be releasing that to you guys at some point soon. So, Freight Train Swizzle, what are you going to say, Marius?
You didn't mention the bartender that influenced all these other bartenders.
What do you mean?
Schumann.
Oh, Charles Schumann?
Yeah.
No, I know. Does that frustrate you? Marius is like, he's got Charles Schumann on the brain, because basically Charles Schumann is a German bartender that was bartending in the late 70s and early 80s. And he was the one that created this book called The American Bar. And that book is what, like, every single American bartender, like Dale DeGroff, the people that that were credited with starting the cocktail renaissance in the United States, were influenced by Charles Schumann. Everybody was influenced by this guy. And there's a documentary. We were flying Delta when we went to New York and San Francisco, and there's a documentary that they have called Bar Talk.
Bar Talks,
which is all about Charles Schumann running around different parts of the world and meeting with some of the influential bartenders of today. It was a very great movie. I really liked it a lot. I'm glad I got to watch it on the plane. I gotta say, I only have nice things to say traveling Delta, which was really nice. It was a very good experience. I gave them all 5 stars in my survey that they sent me on the internet. I'm just saying that, you know. Hink, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Anyway, so yeah, Charles Schumann. But we're gonna get into some Charles Schumann drinks pretty soon, because it's pretty ridiculous that we have not done any Charles Schumann drinks. Okay, now what I was gonna say before Marius semi-rudely interrupted me was that we're gonna do what's called a dry shake today. So usually you would see me whip shake a crushed ice cocktail. This one is something that Mr. Ross dry shakes and then pours into ice. And basically when you dry shake, you're doing that by basically putting everything into your tin, sealing it with no ice, and shaking it basically to aerate the ingredients inside and to combine them without adding any dilution. I'm assuming that just because, like, we're pouring it onto crushed ice. That said, usually when I do crushed ice cocktails, I start the dilution. I'm not sure why Mr. Ross wanted to just... I think it's funny that I just keep on calling him Mr. Ross, just so I don't say Sam Ross over and over and over again. But now I'm just saying Mr. Ross over and over and over again. Anyway, I don't know why he decided this particular approach, but when I make other bartenders' cocktails, I like to use their methods at least the first couple times. And then if I have my own ideas, I twist them to suit my own ideas, because I've got my own style. But I like to just see, you know, at least initially, like, what it was. Obviously, he didn't want to add any dilution so that when it's sitting on the crushed ice, it would be nice and intense up front, and then the dilution will mellow it out as you go. That would be my guess anyway. So what we're going to do is 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, 3/4 of an ounce of green chartreuse that I get to crack open a brand new bottle of. Love me some green chartreuse. And this stuff is potent, over 100 proof liqueur here. The best thing about green chartreuse, the most striking thing, the most interesting thing about green chartreuse is that there is both a green and a yellow chartreuse, and they are made of the same 130 herbs, except for the yellow chartreuse is macerated 3 times with the herbs, and the green chartreuse is macerated 6 times, and that is the only difference, and they come out to be such different products.
And they're both just called chartreuse?
And well, they're not. Well, actually...
on the bottle, at least.
Actually, on the bottle, yeah, but the yellow chartreuse is referred to as, like, I don't know how to say it in French, and the French people that watch this channel they're gonna correct me on this, but it's called chartreuse, like, Juan, which is like yellow in French. Juan or Juan. 3/4 of an ounce of velvet falernum. You can use any falernum you want. I'm using velvet falernum because that's what I have on hand, but if you make your own falernum, you can do that as well. It is completely fine. And then we're going to do 1.5 ounces of Appleton 12, one of my favorites. Then we're just going to combine our tin. Give it like a nice dry shake. Here we're aerating the ingredient. We're aerating the line. We are combining the ingredients. You can see, you see that? It's not, see, this is what happens when you don't have a nice seal, is that you get like, it's starting to, I didn't get a nice seal on this, and so it's starting to kind of leak out the side, which is irritating. And it gets slippery. I have had shakers fly out of my hands because it hasn't had a good enough seal. There's like a little crack in the seal. You see where they, I don't know if you can see that the alcohol is on the outside, but it is. I just threw that on my set for no reason. Just get rid of that. Gonna be extra careful. Then we're just gonna add our ice to our glass. And we're gonna pour our drink over the ice. We're just going to add one little skosh more and give it a nice Angostura bitters topper. And we're going to add that right there, so you kind of create a level. As it goes, it'll sort of start to like kind of mellow out and sort of create a level of color. And then we're just going to give it like a nice, just want like nice mint sprigs, huh? Why can't I get nice mint sprigs, dude? There we go. Get ring of the little lower leaves. Give it a crush. Crush. I say crush, but I meant crush. Get a little slap-a-lap-a ding-dong.
Slappy poo?
Slappy poo. Slappy pants magoo. There you go. Grab a straw. All right, sip-hay. Cylinder. Look at that, I matched it. Let's give it a sipper. Oh, yeah. Mmm. Nice and intense in color and flavor, too. That's exactly what I was saying. So, the dry shake, you know, combines your ingredients, but because there's no dilution, it doesn't really mellow out. So what happens is that alcohol, the flavor, not just the alcohol, but all the flavors. Sorry, I just had to throw that out. All of the flavors are just really intense up front, but as it's sitting on crushed ice, it will mellow out as you go. So it is meant to just sort of be like more intense in flavor profile on that first sip. It is very, very good, nicely balanced. The falernum and the obviously the Appleton 12 go really well together. You've got just enough lime juice to sort of kind of balance it out, and then you've got that nice herbal note from the chartreuse. The chartreuse and the Appleton 12 go really well together. It also bears mentioning that this cocktail can be done with any aged rum you want to do. So, you know, you could do a light rum that's been aged. A lot of people think that the light rums are actually unaged, but that's not true. Light rums are usually aged. A lot of times they're aged. They're just passed through like a charcoal filter, which strips the color off. All right, there you have it, my friends. The Freight Train Swizzle by Sam Ross of Attaboy. Go get it. I will see you guys next time. If you like our channel, hit like and subscribe. And if you want to check us out on Patreon, we got some exclusive content there, patreon.com/theeducatedbarfly. If you guys decide that you want to go get a Staggerly Goods apron, go. But then also hit our, we got a discount code. Why would you pay for a full price if you get a discount code? Barfly SLG20 at checkout will get you 20% off. We also have, if you want to get one of these nice kind of high impact glass straws from Surfside Sips that we've been using, you can do that. And we have a Barfly20 discount code as well for 20% off your order. I will see you guys next time.